Welcome to Men and Women Talk, the Mars Venus Show, presented by theindyradio.com, with your hosts, Kinte and Mosaic. This program hosts a weekly panel of men and women who discuss topics such as dating, the workplace, family, spirituality, cheating, and of course, sex. Monday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, this show is simulcasted live, audio and video between Facebook and YouTube, which allows listeners all over the world to gather together to tackle challenging relationship issues. And now, here is your host, Mosaic and Kinte. Hello, and welcome to an all-new episode of Men and Women Talk, the Mars Venus Show. I am one of your hosts, Kinte, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and I'm so happy to be here with you. Something's going on with my camera there, but anyway, I am so happy to be here with you today. We have a very fun show planned for you. And Mosaic is not joining us tonight, but we have stepping in for her, the one and only Angie. What's up?
Hey, everybody.
All right, Angie. It's been a while since you've been on the show. Tell us a little bit about you and what you've been up to.
I'm just now having children graduate from college, feeling a little old, but ready to be an empty nester, still doing marriage stuff and supporting and helping Black marriages, to get their thing together to show that there are successful Black marriages out here, and actually just helping my people.
All right. I love it. And thank you for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And let's start off. Well, we start off with the other lady on our show. It is Sherry. It's been a while since we've had you on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am, besides just being a mother of only one, I'm still working on myself spiritually, advancing while I help others do the same, as well as helping them advance metaphysically as well. And so, still doing the same thing.
All right. I love it. And let's get to the gentleman. We're going to start off with C. Will, the Builder. How you doing, man?
Hey, what up, Kinte? I'm doing great, man. I'm just still doing the Inspire thing, as you see. And right now I'm really focusing on consulting and digital. I'm building a digital agency. So I got those things coming up right now.
All right. I love it. All right. And last but definitely not least, our returning champ, the one and only Ryan Perez. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Kinte. I'm so happy to be here.
All right. Cool.
But I was going to say that if anyone's looking for whatchamacallit, Dr. Sabi advice, I have a channel called Sabian Academy on TikTok. And if you're neurodivergent and you have issues with ADHD, with ASD, with dyslexia, dyspraxia, all of those things, you can follow me on Calibrated Dyslexia on TikTok as well.
All right. Thank you so much, and thanks for doing that work.
Right,
it's very necessary.
I need that information because I actually been looking up on my own stuff. Dr. Sabi, I know some stuff, but not I'm sure to the extent that you have it going on. So I am all in.
Okay, I'll send you my links.
Like I'm going to TikTok as soon as you send it.
All right. So tonight's show is we're going to be reacting to content that's on the internet. And, the internet is this dark place where sometimes there's a lot of craziness that happens. And so I feel like, you know what, this is a good time for us to kind of react to some of this craziness. So I have to do this. Since we're using other content, I'm going to play the fair use disclaimer. Fair use. Don't come after me. So here we go. Got to play the disclaimer. All right. So the first clip, I kind of talked about this on last week's show briefly, and people thought I was making this up. So I guess we'll start off with we're gonna start off with C Will. We'll start off with C Will. I won't give you any heads up on it. We're gonna play the video, and you give your thoughts on what you think about it. All right. Yep. Start off with something kind of like.
You ready for a foodie call? Yes, you heard me correctly, a foodie call. A new trend has emerged on the dating scene in which a person schedules a date with someone they aren't really interested in just to get a free meal. The tactic has been dubbed a foodie call, and while it sounds absolutely ridiculous at first consideration, new research reveals it's happening quite often. Researchers at Azusa Pacific University and UC Merced had 357 heterosexual women answer a series of questions about their personalities, thoughts on traditional gender roles, and their personal foodie call histories. Interestingly enough, 33% of the participants admitted to engaging in at least one foodie call. A second study was also performed, this time on 820 women. Of the women collected, 85% reported being heterosexual, and they were used as the focus of the study. Respondents were asked a similar set of questions as the first group, and 23% acknowledged participating in such a foodie call. It is worth noting that most of the women surveyed believed a foodie call was anywhere from moderately to extremely unacceptable. Among both groups of women, those who admitted to foodie calls scored higher in the dark triad. That consists of narcissism, psychopathy, and being Machiavellian. Women who expressed belief in more traditional gender roles were also more likely to engage in a foodie call. So before that next date, you might really want to ask, do you really like me, or is it just the free food?
Do you even like me?
So I got a couple of questions for you. One is, what do you think of that? Have you ever heard of that? Also, do you feel like you've ever been a victim of that? And do you think it's essentially wrong to do that to people?
Okay. Yes, I've heard of the idea before. I've it's part of, I guess, survival for some women, but I don't really think it's necessary. I guess maybe you just want a free meal or whatever. I like the idea that he said it's in this dark triad group of people maybe on the spectrum of something, but at least, everyone's not crazy. But so that's my response to the first question. And then have I myself? No, because, well, let me think about it. No, not in the last, I don't know how many years, because I'm not the easiest person to go on a date with, period. Like, it's just, I'm just not easy. So, yeah. So no, yeah, it hasn't happened to me. And because, yeah, it's so hard to go on a date with me. Usually it's like, in the quality of women I date, they have money, so it's not like they need to use my money to get food, What was the third part? I think I can't hear.
Kinte, we can't hear you.
Now you're muted.
Yeah.
We hear nothing, Kinte. We see your mouth moving.
Hello? Is it me?
You're echoey, like you're faint echoes.
I can't hear. You know what? That happens sometimes on here. I think maybe you remove everybody off the stage and try it again. I forget. There's like a trick to this.
Well, what do you think, Kinte, while we're waiting? I'm sorry. Whoever's next.
Right. So while we're waiting on Kinte, so we won't just be sitting and looking at Kinte while he's in amazement over here. So, Sherry, what do you think about it?
I wouldn't do it personally, but I have known people that would do it and don't see anything wrong with it. That think that it's okay to have a man for every need, even though they're not serious about them. I don't think it's right, because I think that you risk maybe, ending up hurting somebody. I mean, I guess if both people are on the same page, then maybe it's okay. But I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I just kind of feel like, what if the person, starts liking me, and then I have to be like, what? No, sorry, I just wanted the food, No, it's not. That can be uncomfortable.
Ryan,
can you all hear?
Yeah.
I
can you hear me?
hear you now.
Yeah.
We can hear you now, Kinte. Ryan, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. It's an economy, and I think guys walk right into it because, guys want one thing, and obviously the person on the receiving end wants to get, some food. It doesn't really happen to me because I'm broke. No, but like for me, it doesn't happen to me because the first date, normally I want to go on a walk. People have called me, because I say I'm a sapiosexual, so like I'm into intellectual conversations, but I'm also a sapiosexual, sapio. It's about, someone that's attracted to intelligence. So I have to have an intellectual conversation with you. I also have to vibe with you. And someone said that I'm kind of, it's called demisexual, where you are only attracted to somebody if there's an emotional connection. So I don't really, if I can't get a vibe, even just talking to you on the phone or texting, then, I probably won't go on a date. So I never really had that issue. And if there is a emotional bond or a good connection, yeah, like I don't mind flipping the bill. It doesn't really matter because it's it's the moment that you share with somebody, whether she's hungry or she's not. I think it is what it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Angie, have you ever done a foodie call?
I didn't. Okay, so I know everybody gave us all these wonderful political answers, but Kinte, I'm not. But I have now been married for 20 plus years. However, I definitely had people that I called when I wanted different things. Like if I wanted somebody just to hang out because I was bored or lonely, or if I didn't want to spend some money, I always had people for that. Multiple people. They didn't know that was their purpose, but you didn't get calls for nothing other than that, and you ain't getting no booty either. So I don't know what y'all got going on. You don't know that you are being on a foodie call, because if you got in a game, you're not going to tell him in a foodie call. You have conversation, you act like you're interested, and then in his mind he's thinking whatever, and then if y'all have to do, all right, okay, I gotta go check on my mama, or we'll hit him tomorrow, make plans for another day that we know is never gonna happen. So I don't know about y'all, but I've done it a lot. I had booty calls. I had foodie calls. I had clothes call, shoe call, whatever I need, gas in my car call. I had all kind of calls. Yes, everybody had a purpose. Because at that time, I feel like I couldn't find one man to do it all. So that's what we had.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't know. I mean, maybe I've been the victim of foodie calls. I can't call it, but I don't know. I think it's and it's funny because you said the women you date, Sewell, is they have money, but I find that it's women with money that do that.
Yeah,
a lot.
It has nothing to do with your money.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with your money. It's a mental
right.
Empowering feeling when I can do that. I'm just gonna take like I said, I've been at the game for a long time now, but it was an empowering feeling because I knew what if I needed. I said I could tell somebody watch this, and I can tell them what was gonna happen. And if they weren't going for the regular bait, just make what's no big deal. I just chill tonight. Then we can. Well, I don't want any problems. I just was thinking we can go hang out and chill out. Feeling a little way or whatever. Oh no, I can make you feel better. Yes, you will after you feed me. How about that?
I love it. All right. So Sherry, you get the next video, and I will give a little setup with this one. You guys have definitely heard the phrase that these men ain't ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this person has a different take on this, or this has a different take. Ryan will definitely love this video. But Sherry, you get the first crack. So here we go.
The phrase "men ain't shit," that is canceled. Watch this.
I'm cheating. If he goes on vacation with his boys, I am cheating. If he goes outside the country to go visit his mama or in another state to visit his mama, I am going to cheat while he is gone. If he have female friends, I'm cheating. If he have male friends, I'm still cheating.
It's not even just the video. Look at the fucking comments. This is so iconic. Huh? This needs to be an anthem. We are the same. I cheat for every reason, so my mind is at ease. And these are women. Do you remember back in part 1 of my series, all the way back to part 1, you remember when I said that women have no business saying men ain't shit because women are just as bad, if not worse than men? And y'all swore up and down that I was so full of shit when I said that. Do y'all also remember when I said that women will encourage other women to be toxic, but when you try to encourage women to do better in their relationships and treat their man with the same respect that you want him to treat you, you get bashed, you get hate comments. Trust me, I fucking know.
All right. So much to unpack there. So, what is your take on the video as a whole?
I actually agree with what she's saying. And sometimes women are even like worse than men sometimes. I do hate when somebody puts it out there as like, oh, men ain't, across the board. I think that's not right. That is not the majority. And then you've got women who are just doing some just horrible antics that are the first ones to say they're doing it because men aren't ish. And that's their justification. I don't know. I just think two wrongs don't make a right. It's wrong no matter how you look at it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right. What about you, Riot? What was your take on that? Your auntie over there.
So, can you rephrase what she said? Because I didn't. She said all kinds of things, and I didn't really get the crust of her.
What she was saying is they always talk about how men ain't ish, but there's a lot of scandalous women out there who are just as shady as us guys, and they celebrate their bad behavior as well.
Yeah, but
so yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of a loaded conversation because I think men will always be in power, and we always will have that power dynamic. So when they say that, men ain't shit, they mean it from a patriarchal perspective. But it doesn't mean like, this whole Amber Heard situation, right? And she's, obviously pooping on the guy's bed and doing all kinds of things. And I've been in toxic relationships as well, but it doesn't erase the fact that there is not a power dynamic between men and women. So, I believe that both people can be really bad human beings. I just, but I don't forget the fact that we live in a patriarchal society. And a lot of times when women are doing bad things, not to excuse the behavior, they do it for other reasons than what men do. Like it's different reasons, and I'm learning to get to understand the other side of the conversation. Ask me 5 years ago, I would have been, you know what I mean? I would have been it would have been a different conversation, but I don't know if I'm making sense there, but I don't think they're equal.
They're equal. They are equal. Give me a break, bro. They're cheating because they're jerks. They are doing their bad behavior because they're jerks. Just like guys are jerks, women can be jerks too. So you are very kind.
I'm not kind.
Well, he's justifying what the patriarch, and all that power structure.
We live in a patriarch. There is different weight to when, for example, if a woman gets caught cheating, the stigma that is put on her, for being a slut and stuff like that is different than a guy being like, yo, man, you a slut. And the guy's like, yeah, I know. There's a completely different. There's a completely different dynamic.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that, there's nothing wrong with the perception of himself, but you have to understand that, for women that I've talked to, that slut comment towards her has a different weight and a different meaning than it does for the dude.
But so though. It should.
I think
it's worse. It's worse when women are slutty. That's true. Don't you?
You said it's worse?
Yes, it's worse. There's a double standard. There's a reason there's a double standard. It's supposed to be a double standard. They got double standards too in their favor. Can we have one? Y'all supposed to be holy. Women are supposed to be holy.
They're supposed to be holy.
Yes, we're supposed to be the whore.
Oh Lord,
not y'all.
I'm not even.
Yeah. But we're in an economy now, we're in the Tinder era where everyone's a flick of a button, and I feel like women who cheat are very slick about how they handle their business, and even in their comeuppance, they do it with more respect than how the guys do it. You know what I mean? Like they
cheat with respect.
They are very considerate in how they go about it.
Aww.
Dudes, dudes will go and cheat on her or with their spouse with someone that's uglier. You know what I mean? Women will cheat upward. They'll cheat with someone that looks better than
women have more.
They do it with respect because.
They cheat with respect.
Yeah, they treat with respect because dudes, they'll go and they'll cheat with the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and then the woman's like,
man,
what?
She got back. Hey, she got back. Okay.
Yes.
Oh no, you were really, really too nice, bro. No, women cheat because they're jerks. Guys cheat there because they're jerks. There's no excuse. There's no cheating with respect. There's no such thing as cheating with respect. Come on, dude.
Well, no, it's the.
Hey, I respectfully cheated on you, girl.
I'm just saying that the situation.
I got a better girl than you. You say I'm a good person.
Rihanna.
But there are reports on this stuff. There's academic reports. The differences in how someone goes into cheating are completely different. They're not equal. You can't treat people.
Yes.
You can't treat the two groups the same.
Did your vagina go with another winky? You ain't nothing. Okay. There's no respectful way to cheat on me. It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
There is no respectful way.
If you are loyal and she's not loyal, then you're not. You know what I'm saying? It's like you cheated. That's it. It'd be different if you're both going both ways. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that if you're a woman, and I see the conversation that the young lady had, with her audience. It's like, okay, I'm out here trying to be straight, equal with my audience and the women. I tell them, hey, cheating's bad and all that stuff, and they come at me like, well, I cheat all the time, and they're all like, yeah, we cheat, we like cheating, and we like doing whatever because F them niggas or whatever. Excuse my language, I don't know what to say here, but it's like, okay, that's women empowerment. That's the way I see that kind of conversation. Like they're empowering each other, saying if they can talk to each other like that, we can talk to each other like that. And how are you going to come in here and try to correct us with your goodiness? You know what I'm saying? Because I was the goody person in my family too. You know what I'm saying? And so if I say anything, you know what I'm saying, they're like, well, you need to go out and get some because I don't know what you think is happening. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, okay, so I see they're kind of doing the same thing, but to me, it's still wrong. If you're violating the trust, then just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you're doing and you get caught, I think women are better at it. I think they're more sophisticated. I think they're more logical when it comes to like what was Ryan is saying is like a dude cheats. Like I said, he's more focused on the head, the brain down there, and it just wants fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? Women, they want same thing they want with their particular, their partner. You know what I'm saying? Not same thing, but they want it. How can I say it? Like Jada. Take Jada and Will, for example. You know what I'm saying?
You can't take them nuts for nothing.
Yeah, I'm just using an example that everyone can hear. But
I just forgot about them. Thanks for bringing them up.
I'm sorry, but that's I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff, but I pay attention to that. I like Will and Jada, so I know they're on all kind of other stuff too. But because of what, we're not gonna get deep. But the point is, Jada, was not just cheating; she was also being the therapist. She was getting to do all kind of things. I'm pretty sure she couldn't do it Will, with Mr. Perfect or something. So it's like, she's getting way more out of it than just sex. And so I think that's something that women, especially ones of a certain degree, do. But like Angie was saying earlier, it's like, okay, what is my purpose from this? And can I get more than one thing out of this person? You know what I'm saying? And I get something out of this person, that person, that person, that person. It's like, it's a game. That's why they call it the game. So I think, they're better at playing the game in general, period. You know what I'm saying? Because they're better communicators. So,
Angie, what's your take?
So we're not gonna use Will and Jada for any kind of anything. Okay. We don't love him, honey, and so we're not even gonna play the game like that's a normal, healthy nothing. That mess right there is a mess. Hashtag we don't do Will and Jada. That relationship goals never have been. Okay, on to our topic we're talking at hand. So I couple of different things. So I get what Ryan was trying to say. Very nice. But women and men both cheat for the same reasons. You got some women, you got some men that are just hoes.
Right.
They just want to have sex with whoever, however, whenever. You got some that cheat because there's something they're lacking at home that has an area has now gotten fulfilled. And it doesn't have to be sexual. Like if your partner at home is not spending time with you or having conversations. So you got this person at work that now actually pays attention to you and what you wear and what you look. And that's something you're missing at home. We tend to get emotional connection. Women are emotional beings, but men like that too. They like that woman at work that when they say something, the woman just goes and does it. Like she may work with him and maybe her job to do it, but she doesn't give him lip. Whereas to his wife at home may be giving him lip. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, that's just things that when we're missing things at home, that's the kind of thing that can come out of that. So the thing about it is that women are better multitaskers than men in life. So we're better at cheating than men because we understand that we still got to take care of our man and cook and do the kids and all this stuff. Well, then I got to call my side dude too. And I'm going to the grocery store. I'm gonna talk to him on the way to the store because I know he don't want to go to the store with me, so I can talk to him on the way, or I can have him meet me at the store. You can multitask. Men can't do that. They be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get dog food." What? We got some. Mm-hmm. We need a different kind. Like you guys don't function well. Your pattern changes too much. That's the stuff that in dealing with couples that we always see. There's always a huge pattern change. So there's no respect.
All of a sudden he starts wearing cologne that he never wore before.
Right. Or if he always come home from work, like Cedric worked and build houses and he come home and if he's always come home, he sit around, and he take a shower when time to go to bed. But he come home now, he take a shower and he got to go get something to eat and he done put on cologne. Where we going? Oh, now like when your pattern changes drastically, you watch that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not a bad thing to watch because that's how when my husband was sick, I was able to tell something was wrong with him because I know his pattern. I didn't write it down, but when you spend time with people, you pay attention to that stuff. But it also works with it in relationships. So I'm with Kinte on that. There's no good way to cheat. If your penis went in her vagina, if there was a hot pocket involved and it wasn't my hot pocket, then we got a problem.
Amen. And hallelujah. All right, here we go. So this is going to be on you, Angie. You get the first crack at this one. These next 3 videos are kind of about concepts that you hear a lot if you watch a lot of these dating videos and stuff. And I think the first 2 will help the third one. So let's start with this one that talks about what they call the Pareto principle. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. Yes. Yeah. So here we go.
Events in life and love, the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, explains the distribution of results. It states that roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes, and vice versa. That's a big deal to us because it helps us understand that in many areas of life and love, there's a top 20% and a bottom 80%. Believe me, this applies to attraction, dating, and online dating, so it's a huge deal to you, all right? Though it is an observation and not a law, it really does apply quite handily to your love life. With the 80-20 rule, you can really see how it's important for you to not just be better than most, because top 50% isn't good enough. What you want and need to be is in the top 20%. So you need to kind of remove yourself from some of those old-fashioned thoughts like, I'll be better than most people and that'll be good enough. Or I'll just get sort of that passing sort of grade, that 60, that 70%, but that's not good enough in life and love. I want you to take some risks, but what game does is it helps you take more educated risks versus blind risks. Understand that you have a rare opportunity here to combat and overcome your competition that probably has some advantages over you, right? So this is nothing like your height or whatever you were assigned with your genetic DNA at birth. Instead, this is a choice here, so choose wisely. Take advantage, because in the game of love and its many games of attraction, dating, and online dating, it's not set up for many people to understand that they can become masters or to remain masters. So you really have an opportunity here to step up and fill that gap and become someone who does have greater mastery, who does become a master in these areas. So this is your rare opportunity to seize an advantage. I hope you take it because I can't change shit about your height or whatever genetic DNA you're assigned, but we can make you better on the inside.
All right. So I love this 80-20% rule.
I can't hear Kinte.
Sound, you dropped out.
Yeah, Kinte, you went out. You went out again.
I see your mute on and off. Oh, you did that, but yeah, I still can't hear you now.
Nope, we can't hear you again, Kinte. So while you figure that out, I guess so we won't have a dead zone. Look, he already gave it to me. So whenever you start talking and we can hear you, I'll stop. So I know the 80-20 rule, but it is definitely not the 80-20 rule that he just said. And so I'm a little confused. The whole concept.
Hello?
Okay, I can't take. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on tonight, but okay, so the 80-20 rule is essentially that 20%, 80% of the people want 20% of the people that are available. So, what meaning is if you don't meet, and that's in everything. That's in everything in life. They've done scientific studies that it's not even just in dating. It's in everything. So what they're saying is, he's basically saying in order to get you in that 20 percentile of the people that are really successful, like the people who really are successful in love, that there's ways that you can button yourself up. I can't deal. He's like, he has even said, I can't make you more attractive as far as your looks or your height, but you can do things like go to the gym. You can get your money up. You can become more desirable to more people. And so the question I have for you is, as a woman, is like, I really feel like that there's a lot of truth to that. Like, I feel like 80% of women really only like 20% of the guys that are available. Like, for real. Like, really, outside of that 20%, it's like, they may say, all right, I'll mess with this cat or not. But it seems like it's really a small percentage of who women really, really want.
You can buy me dinner.
Right. So, I know you've been out the game for a minute, but do you think there's any truth in that?
So you kind of faded out early when I first started this.
Okay.
There's an 80-20 rule that I've known about for years, but it has nothing. It is absolutely
right. There's another 80-20%. Yeah, 80-20 rule. Yeah.
So I'm not quite following how you're going to make me better. I feel like you're trying to make me be something that I'm not, and then that leads to me giving you a representative. And so you may achieve the person that you are, become attracted to more people, but it's not really who you are. Mm-hmm. Because if you are a homebody, or if you're nerdy, or if you're quirky, or if you're whatever, and that's not who you really are, I mean, if you're not really that dude, that cool dude, or that whatever thug, or whatever you're trying to be, I'm just naming great stuff. But if that's not really you, the representative is gonna come on at some time. So it's like a job interview. I can make you do well in your interview, and a lot of people want to hire you, but when you get hired, you ain't about a dime, and then they want to fire you.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, I definitely agree. I feel like you can pretend for a long time, but I don't think he's necessarily talking about pretending. I feel like he's talking about you can actually make yourself into more of a desirable person that you can get into that 20%.
Other people's requirement of who you are as who you really are. I want to meet the person that likes me. Mm-hmm. And not who I've had to go. I'm not talking about being broke and not wanting to better your career, but you should want to better your career for you. You should want to better your health or your body, or eat, the way Dr. Sebi said we should eat, for you, not because you meet a guy that wants to do that. Because if you do that, then it's going to be a chore for you and not what you really want to be. So when Ryan's talking to me about the alkaline and mucus and things of that nature, I'm like, okay, I can pretend for only so long. Then I'm like, whatever, it's not that serious. Can
I let you in on something that's a secret that's not a secret? I'm gonna tell you something about men. Now, I'm not going to say every man, obviously, but I will say 95.9%, and of course, not the guys in this conversation.
Right.
We do everything for y'all. Everything we do is so we can get you guys, okay? We want the great job. You know why? Because it attracts women. We want the nice car because it attracts women. We want the nice package. You know what I'm saying? Because women like that. We want everything we do is for that we can be more attracted to women. We want to become powerful, rich and powerful. You know why? A lot of women. So women don't think like guys think. You know what I'm saying? Like women don't think like guys think. Women don't go, oh man, if I hit the lottery, I'm gonna have all these men. Dudes think that. They think, oh man, I'm gonna have a chute over my bed, and I'm gonna just pull the lever, and women just gonna come rolling out. And you guys have an advantage. I think that's why a lot of times women do better sometimes in the workplace, in their careers, is because we are so bound by our loins, right? So, especially when we're younger, right? We're so bound by it. That's like our major focus. Whereas women don't want success so they can have more men. You know what I mean? They want success for what the success can do for them. And so that's why you can easily sell these to men. If you do this, you get more babes. Like go to has any of the guys ever went to a car lot to buy a car?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever had try to get a really nice car, and if it's a guy selling it to you, you know what he's going to use as a selling point? The chicks is going to dig you in this, bro. When you pull up in this, man, I don't think I'm gonna ask you ladies, Sherry, I don't know if you ever went to a car dealership and then the person says, hey, the guys are really, if this
I didn't know that was happening. I can remember some ex-boyfriends that were like, oh, come to this dealership. I found this car I think that I like. Come look at it. It wasn't like it. Like, did that really happen? Because now you're like, I'm thinking back. I'm like, wow, was that the selling point? No, but I did for a very short time. I sold cars, and that wasn't on my mind to. And I sold cars to many men. And it never dawned on me to say, oh, the women are really going to love you in this car. It just never, I don't know. I guess it never dawned on me. I guess I just don't think like that. Well, yeah, because I'm a woman.
Right. But we know, look, see, Will, if you're selling a car and you know this car is a chick magnet, you're not going to use that as a selling point if a brother walks in?
Only if he says that's his motivation. Different. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, because I don't think all men are that way. You know what I'm saying?
Not all, but 98%.
Well, it happens. you go through puberty and, 16, right. 23, 25, whatever. But I think by the time you're 30, you know what I'm saying? If you're still doing it, you're chasing, you're going backwards in time. Or like, you're not maturing. You know what I'm saying? So, because I know people in their 60s, 70s, and whatever age who are still chasing women, you know what I'm saying? And they're like obsessed with it, and I think you've got to find some kind of balance in yourself. And so that's what I agree with. Part of what he's saying, is that actually become a better person, period.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's what attracts women. Women want people who are better than these 80. That's the 80% is that, it's like lowest common denominator motivators. You know what I'm saying? They're motivated by the lowest common denominator. You know what I'm saying? Food, sex, drugs, entertainment. It's just that's all they do. You know what I'm saying? You want them to stop and think, can you breathe with me? Breathe. What do I need to breathe for? I need you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Then that's where you at. You know what I'm saying? But if you want, that's what the man is trying to say, I think, but if you want to be on this other class of people, because all the ladies, all the men, women, whatever your orientation, I think, if they're looking at these other people because the other people are different. You know what I'm saying? These 20% are not like the other 80% people, and the 80%, it's a hard way of. I don't even like talking like this with these numbers and all this, averages and stuff like that. But the majority of people are in a different stage of their, development. You know what I'm saying? So until you break the mind, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, hypnosis that you're under, that this is how I have to be because this is all that's important to me. I think I'm going to stop talking in like 20 seconds, but I think what's the word? Continuation of the species is important. You know what I'm saying? And that is why that motivation is so strong. That's why I like Angie's point of view always, because she's married and she's like, I'm good. I got the kids, they graduate and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And I can think about things in a more broader way than like, I know I'm still out here, you know what I'm saying? So, I can go back to Mr. Doggy Dog World and all that good stuff. But it's, I'm saying, I just got to make a contribution to the world. You know what I'm saying? So when you think like that, it's less about, what Mr. Willie wants. You know what I'm saying? So.
What about you, Ryan? You're always doing things to do self-improvement and whatnot. And I really feel like you come off maybe that you're doing it more just to be a better human being, not necessarily you're trying to get the draws, what about you? What about you? Like, what are some of the things you feel like you've done recently? I know a lot of stuff in health as far as just trying to get into a better position.
Well, I'm doing that all for myself. And I find that like I get more attraction when I'm not even focused on dating, when I'm just focused on just building myself, and I ain't got time to business, because it seems like, there's more interest in what it is that I'm doing, because, I am single, and, and having to cut through it. And as you get older and you live in a place where I live, where there's not much Black people here, and there's not much value in Black men that aren't basketball players and don't have a high pitched voice that I do, it makes it very hard for me to even get a date, even despite, all of my accomplishments and, the continuous. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Oh, it's like the racist. I wouldn't say it's all racist, but people have deemed us as the most racist one of the most racist cities in Canada. And it's hard to date here. It's hard to date. It's hard to find someone that doesn't fetishize you. My ex-girlfriend is actually out there promoting white supremacy, actually, because of this whole convoy stuff that was happening in Canada. After we broke up, she's out here promoting white supremacist ideology. And so I'm so resentful here because I work on myself a lot, but that doesn't translate into being a high value man, according to these people. They want the cowboys. They want, the guys that are rugged and have tattoos and, that don't give a shit about nothing. So, I don't know, like these 80-20 rules and these generalized rules, I don't know if I'm with it all because of, and I guess my experience is anecdotal, but I just don't understand how people come up with these things. I think when it comes to, am I making sense before?
No, you're making perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, I think it's anecdotal and everyone has an experience. I do think that when you know yourself, you know exactly what you want out of life. And then you're not going to be putting up with all the bullshit as far as the dating. You know exactly what you're going to go after. I think all that hard work that I've been putting into myself, I know exactly who I want in my life. And, and I have no motivation to go out there and date and spend money and this and that, because like most of the times the selections are not what I'm looking for anyways. And I've had to find value in just being single because I would rather be single than to settle in these interracial relationships when you know that the grandfather and the grandmother and everybody's racist. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. And I don't want to be devalued just because I don't want to be valued just for the color of my skin, because a lot of these women are like, I want mocha babies, and all this crap that I've heard over the years. I want you to see me for my brain and for my, for what I'm building. I want you to be interested in herbs and interested into that frequency. And I can only find that with my sisters. And unfortunately in Canada here, even the women that are high valued women, they're in the corporate world. They're going after the corporate guys that have all the money and the status, but they don't really have no connection to culture and community. So I don't know if I've even touched the question. It's just my perspective, and my perspective is unique one, but I'm having a hard time.
Okay. Well, I know it's a lot to unpack. I don't know. There's an echo somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from, but maybe on another show we'll get more deeper into it. But I've always found it's very interesting. All right. So I'm going to circle back to the other two videos that kind of relate to it. But I want to do this one, and I want to start off with you, Sherry. You get the first dibs at this. You guys might have seen this because this was kind of popular when it came out. So here we go.
Okay, here's the thing. Having a preference is something like, I'm looking for a partner who likes kayaking or wakes up early in the morning or loves pizza. But when your preferences exclude an entire group of marginalized people, that's problematic. Okay, that's not nice. That's not a preference. If you lump all fat people in one group together as though they are not very different individuals, that's fatphobic. Just like lumping all black people in one group and saying, I don't like black people is racist. And lumping all disabled people in one group and saying, I don't think people in wheelchairs are hot.
That was a hot mess. That's what I think of it. I'm like, what? Who let her talk? That's how I feel. I feel like, who let this woman talk? I get what she's saying. I do. I understand where she's coming from. But at the same time, it did make me kind of go, wait, what's the point here? Like, who did what? Did somebody do something? Did somebody piss this woman off? Is she upset because she's a little bit on the heavy side? And did somebody disregard her because of her weight? I'm just watching it going, where is she coming from? why is she even saying all, like, why am I listening to this? I'm sorry, that's just how I felt. Like, why am I listening to this? Like, really, I feel like she didn't have anything better to do that day. That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling.
So the question, I mean, are you fat phobic because you want to date fat people?
I think I don't know. Everybody's different. I'm like the type of person that I'm into. I'm also into somebody that I can have a good conversation with. I'm into it's more on an emotional level. So for me, it's not about looks. I mean, I'm like that person that, like, I meet somebody for the first time and they make me laugh. They could have one leg, 3 arms, and they made me laugh. What? They made me feel good. You have to be able to make me. I can make my. I don't need anybody to make me feel good about myself, but I do think it's great to have somebody in your life that makes you want to be a better person, that makes you want to keep working at being a better you. Well, you know what I mean?
I'll say this. I think she has a point though. Cause I'm following her logic. So I'm gonna call out Rihanna because she won't date me because I'm broke. So she's broke phobic.
She broke phobic. You just hate all us broke people, man.
I know, man. How dare she not date me?
I'll make under $1 million. What's up, Rihanna?
Kinte, okay, so I have an issue with everybody using phobic as their go-to. Right. I don't know if you guys realize it, but the word homophobic is a recent term that was created.
Right.
And I just looked at the definition of phobic, having or involving an extreme or irrational fear of something or aversion to something. So because that's not what I like, if I'm not attracted to somebody that's fat, that's not a phobic. That's just not my preference. It's not what I like. If I don't like to date outside of my race, that's not phobic. That is my preference. And people need this. The phobic thing drives me nuts because you want to put a name to make somebody feel bad for who they are and what they believe. You might not like what I agree with, but it's my right to have that, my own opinion and preference. So stop trying to make me feel bad by putting phobic on the end of it. Like you said, Rihanna, broke phobic. Like people, I mean, we joked about it just then, but I'm telling you, I know people that put a phobic on the end of everything. I'm like, it's ridiculous. They just don't like you.
Yeah.
You're not their style. Like, it's people that like my husband and I was then we met. We both big now. Okay. I ain't fat phobic. I just got the man I love and we just got big together. We got fluffy together. That's just what it is. Like, that's not, but if I don't like you because you skinny, that's not a phobia. That's not my preference. That's not what I like.
Right. You have the right to, right. What were you going to say, Sherry?
I was going to say that has happened to me before where I've met somebody online. And when the first time we had a conversation, they were like, and this was while I was like deep in working on spirituality. So I'm like praying 4 or 5 hours a day. And that's all my life was about. And they questioned, well, what do you do for a living? How much money do you make? They were like an ex-football player or something. And literally they didn't want to talk to me anymore when they realized that I wasn't currently on this path of, I'm hustling. I'm hustling to make that money. I'm hustling to have this. I'm hustling to have a nice car, a nice house. You know what I mean? So that has happened to me before. But I didn't get mad about it. That's his right. He can like whoever he wants to like. You know what I mean? Maybe that just meant he wasn't right for me. But I agree with what Angie said. And you know what I mean? You got the right to like who you want to for your own reasons.
Mm-hmm. Are Dr. Sebi, Ryan, are Dr. Sebi devotees, are they fat phobic?
You know, No, you know what? I've never heard of. I've never heard of anyone that is. I've never seen anyone obese or anything like that in the Dr. Sabi community, which is pretty interesting. There was a girl that's warring with me on TikTok. She says I was trying to steal her products when I wasn't selling products, but she's a healer and she's healing people with honey and all this other stuff. And she's obese. You know, the Dr. Sabi followers though, and she doesn't.
Good night.
Yeah, she doesn't follow Dr. Sabi. And, you know, and I think it just, when you're on the Dr. Sabi diet, you know, you do lose weight. I lost a lot of weight on it, but we don't focus on that because it's not about the
lifestyle
weight.
change.
It's just about healing, right? And this whole preference conversation, I was just telling you my experience. People have a preference here, and you know, it's very transactional. They want the ideal partner that works for them. And that's where, you know, sometimes you're just not in the pool. Maybe the pool is not for you. You just have to travel. That's why I'm spreading my wings and creating content that reaches people outside of, you know, because love is love. I've been in long distance relationships with people that live in my city. So, you know, like, because you're working so much, you don't get a chance to see them. So I had to open my horizons. I think that, you know, preference is a thing, but also I think compatibility is very important. I think on the Dr. Sabi diet, it's really hard being with somebody that is not on that train because of the idea of loving yourself enough to put the right foods in your body, right? You know, you're cooking up bacon and all kinds of things in the house, and then you're sick, and then you have to attend to that person, and they don't want to take the herbs because they don't believe in it, you know, and you know it works. It's a philosophy thing that I don't necessarily want to go through. But at the same time, when you find someone you love, you find someone you love. There's many dynamics to love, and people just need to focus on what's happening inside them. Because we always want to control our partner and we always want to control those outcomes, and you end up single for the rest of your life, you know. And at some point in people's life is when they lose their looks, the skin starts to wrinkle, or their money's not that long anymore, and then they start focusing on within and spirituality.
Yeah, now they want to talk to Jesus.
They want to talk to, and then they're willing to get in love, and it always happens. But we live in this society where it is transactional, and people have been hoodwinked to believe that they put in more emphasis on the outer appearance rather than what is going on with inside the person. And then they're wondering why they ended up with a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I think it's deeper. I believe in the whole preference thing, but at the same time, you should be having preference for character and preference for spirituality, preference for racism. And how do you feel, even if you're dealing with your own, like, how do you feel about Black Lives Matter? Well, not Black Lives Matter. It's probably wrong thing to use. But how do you feel about social justice? How do you feel about, you know, some of these topics?
Yeah, girl, are you racist like me?
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like you gotta. I think people ought to be a little bit, because those are the things you break up on.
Yeah.
What about you, C. Will? I feel like you kind of admitted you were broke phobic a little bit earlier, because you said I don't date no women that ain't got no money.
Hey, she could have no money, but I'm more like what Ryan said. I like people to have a conversation. Yeah,
right.
That's always been my first red flag. If I can't even get through the game part where you're trying to talk to each other, see what is your name, can I get your number and all that stuff, and you coming back with all kind of weird conversations and ideas, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, what's your job? How much money you make? Huh? You saying blah blah blah. Like, we ain't even on a date, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I ain't gonna work no more for that. But yeah, I feel like she's shooting herself in the face right now, not the face, in the foot, because she says she wants. Because I could see where she's coming from, why she's saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like Sherry said, like, why is she even saying this? Well, because she's been rejected, you know what I'm saying, a couple times by somebody or people that she likes, and she feels the reason is because she's big. It may not be. It may be because she's just not thinking right, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are people who reject you because of your appearance. You know, I walk down the street every day. I live in a town similar to Ryan, where it's a whole lot of other people, and they see me and they want me for a specific reason. You know what I'm saying? And my mind is like way over here somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And like, I got these certain objects that you want. You know what I'm saying? But my mind and my spirit, or whatever you want to call it, is too valuable for me to give my body away just for your little pleasures. You know what I'm saying? And your whatever you saw in some video or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the one. You know what I'm saying? So you can go to the store and buy a toy or something, because I'm not interested. I'm just being straight. I'm just saying how they look at men like me and Ryan. You know what I'm saying? You walking around and these fair complexion people are looking at you like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Any age, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. You know, I had to let some of my grays hair. I said, I need to let these kids know I got gray hair. You know what I'm saying, or something, because they be high school girls looking at me all crazy and stuff. And I'm like, this is not what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how it be. Because the black man is very has a certain reputation, if you feel what I'm saying. So anyway.
So is it white girls that you guys say that want the mixed babies, Ryan?
Yes, and that's all they want, I think. And then in their eyes, they've already settled as to who they are and when it comes to, because I've never had a problem with weight. I've dated women of all shapes and sizes, and that was never, because again, I'm all about emotional connection in mind. But I had to kind of put a stop on, some of some of the white women that were following me, because their reasons for dating me was different than from a sister who was a similar size, right? Like the difference is different, right? Her reason is because no one else will look at her. And and that there are guys that are from overseas, like a lot of the Africans and whatnot, that that jump over the opportunity. They always go for the opportunity, right? Whether it's for the green card or for just because they like that type of woman, right? Or they fetishize that type of woman. So it goes hand in hand for the brothers that do that. But for a brother like me that has lived here all my life, I don't want to be fetishized that way. And that's kind of, and they don't try. Like, you go on the dating profiles, they don't smile. They're like, because Jamaicans, there's a lot of Jamaicans here. So, Jamaicans don't smile in their photos. So they're like, and then they got the cornrows in the head and stuff like that. And so it's not inviting. They don't want to have those intellectual conversations with you. They don't want to change their lifestyles. They're not looking to better themselves. And, and I find that problematic. I'm not saying, like, again, and I'm not fat phobic. I just don't want the attitude that, this is where my life is at, and I'm not going to do anything. You better love me, and I'm not going to change. I'm not going to grow spiritually. It's a lot of things that are associated with their lifestyle that, where you want to walk away from, because, and then there's the racism, and then there's the family members that are racist, and all of these things. So they kind of make those decisions for reasons that they know. And there was a thing on Clubhouse, or no, on Snapchat. I don't know if you guys remember in the media, where these white girls were coming up on the chat in Snapchat, and we brothers thought we were the catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, we thought we were the guys that the women wanted to be with because we had this or we had that. But they were laughing at us. They're like, yeah, man, black men are easy. Right? I'm never going to marry a black guy. I'm never going to do this with a black guy. So they know the game. They know how they're the one playing us, and we think we're playing them, but they already know we have a reputation.
Yeah, it's tough out here. And I wanted to wrap up the idea about her shooting herself in the foot, because she's big now. You know what I'm saying? And she gets a man and gets healthy, right? And the man, all he wanted was a big girl,
right?
And now she like he like, well, peace, you all slim and stuff, and And she like, well, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know, I'm not a fat phobic. I'm just a fat chaser. Fatty, what do you want to call it?
Right, fat chubby chaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, now this next video is some advice to the men out there. And see, Will, you get it first. I'm sorry in advance. But this guy, you guys might be aware of this guy. His name's popped up a couple of times. He goes by AMS, and I had to beep out a couple of his what he said. But he's giving advice about over pursuing women. So we'll see if there's any pearls of wisdom in there, and we want the ladies to answer this too. So it's a little bit longer, but not too much. All right, here we go. This is
why calling a woman too much or why trying to seal too much. It's a turnoff. Guys, I said this in a previous video, so I say it again. Women, for the most part, are pretty much sluts. Now, some women have went through their slut phase or whatever, and so they've gotten it out of their system. And then sometimes women could be in a relationship, leave that relationship, and re-enter another slut phase. All right, guys? So one thing what you guys don't understand is that women like to you guys gotta get this picture of what y'all see on TV about women in the kitchen with the apron on, cooking cornbread and all this bull. Guys, typically when women are single and they're dating, they're right? And when you over pursue, what comes across to her is that you're trying to put her in a relationship before she can get all her slut out her system. All right? So you can't rush the slut. You got to let the slut get all the is out of her damn system. It ain't you can't push that. All right? So one thing you guys got to understand is in the feminism that we living in today, women are being taught that they can date multiple men, that they can have fun, that they shouldn't be in a hurry to settle. Guys, you know, when I was coming up, when I was young, if you went up to a woman, right, and say she wasn't even in a relationship, let's just say she was talking to a guy or dating a guy. What a woman would tell you is, I'm kind of talking to somebody right now. Do any of you guys hear that shit anymore? Do you hear a woman tell you, oh, I'm talking to somebody right now? If you went up to a woman and she could be just dating a guy, not in a relationship, just dating. Her and the guy done went on 2 dates, and she was just curious to see where it would go. She would tell you she is talking to somebody right now. All right? Well, times have changed, guys. That was 20 years ago. Times have changed. If a woman is dating somebody now, and you come up and, you know, approach her and found you attractive, she would date you too. And tomorrow, if somebody come up to her, she found attractive, she would date them too. Guys, you know, I want you guys to understand that. So when you come on too strong, what a woman feels like is you're trying to put her in a relationship. All right? You got to carry yourself like you're just trying to have fun, that I'm just dating. That way the woman feel like it's her choice. If she feel like it's your choice, you're going to turn her off, all right? It's got to move at her pace, all right? She got to get all them. She got to suck all them dicks and get up fuck as many times as she want before she feels comfortable that she's gotten it out of her system to where she's now ready to find her one beta male. So after she done got through letting all the alpha males, you know, ran through her, now you the beta male, you can come wife her up.
Words of wisdom there from
wow.
You can always count on him for words of wisdom.
Yeah, some nonsense. So what I think about all this is, well, sounds like he's trying to talk to beta males, his audience is yes. What he calls betas, which I feel is a little bit disrespectful to call people betas, even if they are You know what I'm saying? Not leaders or dominant people. Because there's a balance. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to lead, and someone has to do the work, and we all do the work. But someone has to say, okay, this is what you're going to do. If you don't have the personality to do that, it's not a fault. And we're not animals. But that's part of our natural instinct, so I'm not too mad about that. Yeah. So this dude, he be right about some things, but the way he says it is just so wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because that's how it was back in the day when a woman was messing with somebody, even talking to somebody, she would tell you. Now, if I'm talking to an attractive woman, or if I'm interested in a very attractive girl, that's how I do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just assuming you got other people coming at you, and if you don't, then that's fine for me. Because I remember when I was in high school, I used to try to talk to the finest girls, and I was surprised because they didn't have, because most men were intimidated by that. But that's neither here nor there. I think, no matter what you look like, because now I'm not really all about, you've got to be a dime, because it's just too complicated now, and people think too much of themselves because they look good, and so it's like, I'm more like you guys, the majority of people here, where it's like more about how you think, how you feel, are we vibing, you know what I'm saying, like that. But his whole thing, he was like, she got to get her slut out and all this other stuff, and the men, they just want to be sluts, and I'm like, no, they like having sex, you like having sex feels good, and she gonna have sex if she want to have sex, and if you trying to lock it down, you got to lock it down. That's how it works. You build your relationship, and then you stop all that. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're doing. But if you just want to have sex with a lot of people, that's what you want to do. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. You know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't be trying to get a relationship, exclusive relationship. If you are trying to get an exclusive relationship and you're having a lot of sex and she's having a lot of sex, y'all got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we got to have sex with each other. You know what I'm saying? Because all these other people, what we gonna do about them? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be straight. That's how I feel about it.
Well, you know what? It's funny though. There's a reason why I put that on there, right? Because I really wanted to. A lot of times, people don't know about this kind of content, right? That is on the internet, and so if you don't know, no one knows that this is like common type stuff.
People are thinking like this.
Where you get this
and this is there's a lot more.
From?
There's a lot more, but it's a very common
Kinte,
thing.
Yes. I study relationship stuff all day, every day. I ain't seen none of this mess. This is nuts.
This is it. This is tame.
Like that's a tame like video. They're like, we ain't gonna show her the dirty people.
She's questioning you.
That is tame. He has a video called "How to Make a Woman Obsessed with You," and it's cruel. The guy is, he's made a big name for himself doing that kind of stuff, and I had to beep it out, and even beeping it out, it was still, I mean, he has good points at times.
He does.
But what point is that? I ain't heard not one of
them. Yeah. And welcome to the show, Anthony. How you doing, Anthony?
Yo, peace.
Hey, man. That's what the kind of content out there. There was a guy that you guys may be aware of who just recently died. Kevin Samuels, right? He died a week ago now.
Oh, and the guy with the suit that was all about this weird stuff. Yeah.
I'm not putting none of his content, but this stuff is really popular. And what I was trying to explain to a friend of mine one time, because she was talking about a guy that she was seeing, right? And then she started saying, like, the way he was acting a certain kind of way. And she was trying to, like, I've never come across this before, a guy talking this certain way. And I said, what is he saying? And by the way she was saying, I said, I guarantee you she watches Alpha Male Strategies videos. Because it was right out of this guy's playbook. And I said, hey, ask him, does he watch AMS, or Alpha Male Strategies? And then she came back to me. She said, yes, he does. I started laughing. I said, there's guys that take their cues from guys like that. They literally will use that because he gives advice to men to use in the dating you know.
And that's why I'm against this alpha beta thing, right? Because you make men feel less than, thinking that, hey, I'm a beta because I'm not super aggressive like that guy over there, whatever. So I got to learn how to be this big tough killer guy and create these manipulations in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Or manipulations in the women's mind. That's what they're doing, right?
Right.
So he's trying to tell his followers how to manipulate these women into thinking or responding to you like you're an alpha.
Right.
You know, and alphas don't need to do that. You know, so I don't like bunching myself, but I know what I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just be real. You know what I'm saying? So like I like the other guy about the 80-20. Just get into yourself and find your real self and be that. You know what I'm saying? Let that shine, polish it, radiate it, all that good stuff. And then you'll find who you need to and the one that will click with you. Because if you're doing a whole bunch of manipulations, yeah, you can get the woman in bed, but woman gonna find out anyway, you know.
But you know what? And I would like to ask the fellas here, did he have any good points as far as over pursuing a woman? What is over pursuing a woman? What is the his basic point about over pursuing?
Stalking?
No.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's
no, it's the energy.
Mhm.
It's like when you're like, you know, you want something serious, and then you're taking her out for dinner, and then you're asking her all kinds of questions, like deep questions, and you know, you're not wanting to have, like, when you're dating, you should be having fun and taking the pressure off. There are some women that I met that want to be in a serious relationship, and that conversation is different, and they make their intentions known. But when you're dating and you're in the economy of Tinder and Hinge and Bumble, the last thing you want to do is lay it on thick and having her, you know, scaring her half to death, and you're not getting another phone call. You have to take it. You got to take it easy. I don't believe in the whole alpha beta thing. It doesn't exist, and even in animals, it don't exist. That's just a made up concept. But you look at the brother, I believe him. You know, I believe that he has a way of doing it. But I told you guys like 15 minutes ago, the women are all cackling because this guy thinks he's a player, but they're actually using him. You know what I mean? Because they're looking for the guy that has no brains, nothing going on. You know, there's no, they call it in the dating world, no strings attached, right? There's no strings attached. So you have sex and then you don't owe him nothing and you go about your life. Because that's what some women like. You know, they don't want
NSA, yeah, that's what they call it. NSA.
Yeah, they don't want to be dealing with a brother that wants to talk about feelings. Nobody cares about your feelings, brother.
Now, brother Anthony, man, I know the rule book ain't the same for you. You probably don't pursue. They probably just fall right into your lap.
I don't know. Don't fall into that. No,
because he's over there. He's a singer. He's a poet. You
he's
know,
got guns.
He light skinned it. You know, so you know he probably got that lever I was talking about, where you put the lever and the women just fall out. But you know, for us mere mortals, what do you think?
I can't agree with your previous statement, but I will say that my interactions are a little bit smoother, but I think largely in part is because my mother raised me. So my interactions with women are, I think, different than if my father were to have raised me. Because growing up, I realized, you know, the trail of tears that my father left and, you know what I mean, the kind of actions that he had, me being raised by a single Black woman and her wanted to ensure that I didn't repeat the same patterns or the same behaviors that my father did, I think set me on a particular trajectory. So I think there's a such thing as over pursuing, but it's case by case basis. One of the things I don't like is the overgeneralization or these blanket statements that this is what men should do or this is how women should behave when we're not manufactured in some factory. We're not cookie cutter. So I also don't agree with the whole alpha, beta, sigma. I'm like, I didn't go to college. I'm not in a fraternity. So I feel like you are, at the beginning and the end of the day, I'm a man. what attributes or accolades are attributed to my manhood or my maleness, for those who, you know, like to make that divination, or based on my character. And so, you know, my character will, and what it is that my character will set the platform for what I attract, for what I allow, for what, you know what I mean, yeah, I guess the type of interactions that I have. So going to the over pursuing, there's a such thing as over pursuing, and it comes down to, it's energetic, like it was said before. It's an energetic exchange. Are you actually? I'm not one for taking hints. I don't really like hints, especially in the ways of, you know, romance and, you know, interaction with me. Say to me what it is, and so I can address that more quickly than you trying to skirt around or beat around the bush, or well, I don't know why he didn't realize that anytime I rub the left side of my neck, he knows that I like him. How would I know that? I don't know you. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So let's actually have some adult conversations at this point. Like, we are adults. I'd like to think so. I mean, I'm almost 40, so we're in an adult environment. We have things to do. Even I was so recently, it's like, oh, I want you to blow my phone up or something. I don't think you like me for real. I'm like, why? Because you're not calling me. I was like, well, I called you, you didn't answer the phone. Or if I text you, you didn't respond. We're adults. I got shit to do. So when it's at your earliest convenience, when you have the space and the time to respond to me, or we can engage in a conversation, that's what it would be. What, did you want me to blow your phone up? Yeah. So why would I do that? I don't understand. Like, my time is just as valuable as yours. I'm not taking away from the value of your time, but mine is also valuable. So at that point, when I am, especially in the initial interaction, if I'm putting forth the, you know, all of the effort and all of the energy, to me, that sets up a platform to where, should we decide to continue in the relationship, that's what I'm going to have to continue. And I don't want to do that. I mean, I feel like there should be an equitable exchange of time, energy, effort, you know, all of those things of that nature. So even previous times where I pursued things, man, if I call you 3 times and not 3 times in the same day, if I call you one day, let's say, and the next day comes, I call you again, you don't answer, I don't get a response, you get one more time. Siri, I didn't ask you anything. I don't know. Pardon, Siri. But I'm like, the 3rd time you don't call or respond, or I don't have any, you know, there's no exchange at that point. Okay, I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna leave it alone, because obviously either now is not the time, I'm not the person, or you're just not that interested. And I don't have the time or the luxury of time to continue to pursue in such a vigorous manner, to where I'm playing myself. I'm not a fan of playing myself at all whatsoever. And I don't feel like anybody else should play themselves. So if we have an understanding, like, I'm attracted, I let it be known. If you're attracted and you let it be known, okay, now we can move on a, you know what I mean, a even plane, and we can progress together, as opposed to trying to figure out whether or not I don't like, if I'm gonna play a game, I got an Xbox at the crib. I got, you know what I mean, board games, Scrabble. I love Scrabble. You know what I mean? It's games on my phone. If I'm gonna play games, I'd rather play those than trying to figure out playing mystery and who killed the butler in the pantry on the 3rd floor or something. Like, I don't want to do all that extra shit.
Right.
You know, and because
we're not playing Clue out here, right?
At all. You know what I mean?
Right.
So your man's, like I said, I only caught a snippet of what he was saying. First of all, he doesn't speak well, and I feel like if you're on the platform,
his war with the English language is evident.
I'm struggling to grasp what it is that you're trying to say.
Write it down first, you know.
Something. Get a teleprompter or something. I don't, reading ability is, you know, where it needs to be to be on a public platform. But I'm like, on that type of stuff. I will say, while I am not, tomatoes might get thrown at me now. In regards to, you know, the late Kevin Samuels, I was a follower, or, you know, I'm not in the cult. There were things that I saw that he said that I didn't disagree with.
Me too.
Where I saw the struggle or the disconnect is that he was very harsh. Like, it was no sugarcoating anything. But there are a lot of things that I feel like I witnessed him say that to me made sense. And I think if people put the perspective on it, there are a lot of people who are not even involved in that conversation. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to the whole high value man. If you are in this particular financial or tax bracket, there I understand a certain, thought process or the ideology that comes with that. But I'm not in that. I'm not making $1 million a year. I'm not even making $100K a year. So you're clearly not talking to or about me. It's interesting what you're saying, but I'm not in the demographic in what you're reaching out to. So a lot of the people who were up in arms about what he was saying, I'm like, you don't even fit in the category and what he was saying.
Right. It's not about, I'm not in that. Yeah.
No, I didn't listen to him at all. I just caught little clips here and there. And I was like, yeah, he ain't well, I'm not, it's not about levels. I think it's just that the way he approaches it is too logical. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
well,
it's part of the game, but it's not the whole game,
No, it's
I want to give a shout out to Madeline, who just came in. Madeline, you there? We're having some issues. She's been having issues.
Madeline, she's frozen.
Yeah, she's frozen like the cartoon. All right.
Listen. I didn't follow Kevin Samuels, but I did hear some things that he said. And what's the unpopular stance is a lot of the stuff he said was direct, but it was facts about how things are being done, how we handle it. We don't like truth. We don't like correction. This is what we do. This is who I am, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things that we have to be better and do better at. You can say I want X, Y, Z, but like, Kinte, you heard her say, if we have a guy come to date our daughter, what does he do for a living? You want to know all these things about who he is, rightfully so. But if you got a girl coming to marry my son, I need to know what you bring. You don't come empty-handed. You are not the prize. There are vaginas everywhere. So what do you bring? So we have this society where women have said, I'm the prize. They can't cook. They can't clean. They have nothing they're adding. They are the prize. No, ma'am. You can get coochie on every corner. They can get a maid to clean their house. They can have a chef come and cook their food. What are you bringing?
Mm-hmm.
Women bring a whole, it's a whole vibe. In the words, to have a man come home from a chaotic day and you bring the peace. He wants to get home to you to bring a level of security. Even though he's a protector in that form, but he knows that when he gets home, you gonna make him feel like he is that king. So there's, we don't like that talk because we all in this women empowerment mode, which I'm not mad for women having their own stuff, but I think we always go too extreme on every end. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't need no man, I'm every woman. Then there's the other one like, come find me and take care of me. Like, can we have a middle ground somewhere here? Can we just everybody play their role? Whatever that role is, it's not the same for everybody. Mm-hmm. And what y'all are talking about, the different alpha male and all this different stuff. Now, I'm not as into that, but I do know those roles exist because of, like, they're talking about in the animal kingdom, things of that nature. But what I don't like is this alpha female. Right. And you wonder why you can't get a male and you're an alpha female. You can't be an alpha female, boo. That's not even what it does. I'm sorry. I don't know where we get this mess from. I told y'all I keep making these words in these different categories. Everybody want to be, you want to be strong, but you want a man.
Are you there, Madeline? Madeline? Uh-oh. Hello. There you go. All right, Madeline, welcome. Now, if there is a jerk internet Hall of Fame, these next two guys are definitely on it or in it. Gosh. And I couldn't do a video like this. And guess what, Angie? You get the first crack at this video. These comes from our great friends who are in Florida too. So they're your homies. They hail out of Miami. They go by Fresh and Fit. And this is some great sage advice that they're giving the men out there. So you tell me what you think. So here we go. This is Fresh and Fit.
Having sex with 50 girls, the reason why I say you guys need to do that is because you need to understand female nature, okay? We live in a world now where there's no, like, I don't know if you guys know this. I think I've talked about this before. But 1 in 3 men, right, that's under the age of 30, 18 to 30, is a virgin.
I have no clue what you just said.
That means almost one third of men under 30 are a virgin. Do you guys understand that if you go ahead and get married nowadays to a woman that's sexually experienced and you're a virgin, you're at a significant disadvantage, right? Because if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to navigate women properly, what's going to happen? You're going to get finessed, right? She's going to tell you these things, and your dumbass, oh, my God, I'm in love. Oh, my God, she loves me for me. $200 for a fight? You know, you're going to sound like Fresh. She likes me for me. You know, you're going to say all this dumb shit.
She does like me for me, for what I offer.
You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, everybody going to be laughing at you. So the thing is this. You got to understand uncomfortable realities about women. And one of the most uncomfortable realities is women tend to live opportunistically. It is what it is, guys. It's hardwired into them. You know, just like us. Well, teddies, yeah. Like, we like them for their vanity. They like us for the security. It is what it is, okay? That's when you boil it down to a hardwired, from a hardwired, social evolutionist standpoint or human evolution standpoint, that's what it comes down to. So the reason why I say 50 girls is because you're going to be in a position where you're going to understand how women think.
Yeah.
And then most importantly, you're not going to be swayed by sex, okay? A lot of guys tolerate a lot of from women because they're sexually inexperienced. But once sex isn't that big deal for you, now you can look at the woman for what value she actually brings outside of the sex. But if you don't know what the doing, you're going to be like, oh, my God, she's giving me box. I don't care. She doesn't cook for me or clean for me or help me. But God damn it, she gives me box.
All right. So, they have the 10,000 hour rule, right? You do something for 10,000 hours, you become great at it. So he's basically saying if you screw a lot, then you know how to deal with women. So what do you think? And he says this number is you got to get to that 50 mark before you can really deal with women properly. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely not. Because you have 50 women and all 50 can be different, and you can get one with that box, that work, and she make you think you can't do nothing. You done thought you had 50 women tell you amazing. You get the one with that box that do something for you, and you are like you ain't did nothing, and she still have you around here talking about it's amazing. So they ain't got nothing to do with it. Shut up, boy. Have all the seats, okay? Because if you don't know how to please your woman, because you can stick your ding-a-ling in a hole and do whatever, but if you don't know how to please your woman, then repetition doesn't mean that you are good at it.
Yeah, but they weren't saying necessarily being good at sex. They were saying that you'll be desensitized to sex.
That's not true. How many men? It's a lot of men. We just talking about men being hoes, right? There's a lot of men that had sex with more than 50 women,
right?
Got a good wife at home and still hoes. That doesn't mean you're gonna desensitize. Men are visual, so I like what I see, and women now sell sex a lot. Everybody.
No. I think what he's saying is when you don't have a lot of sex or you're inexperienced. Now you got me defending their point, or which is funny.
I hear what you're saying. I don't. I vehemently don't agree, because I do not believe that having a certain amount of sex desensitize you. Because if you're a guy that's a really emotional guy, like some guys are emotional, right? And it don't matter if it's a chick that you like, she give you that box, then hey, that's just me.
Is there any truth to what they said, Madeline? That
I didn't get this video. It cut out. What was it?
Okay, what he was saying is, guys who are inexperienced with sex, if they have a lot of sex, if they can get 50 lays in, then they can deal with women better because they won't be so consumed with getting some. They'll be experienced cocksmen. That's I use that word. That's an old school word. And now it's like, oh, okay, I'm going on a date with Madeline. No big deal, because I'm used to getting it. So I ain't worried, because I'm experienced, you know what I'm saying? But now if I go in on a date with Madeline and I've only maybe had one woman or maybe zero, then, because, women inherently are evil, right? So, this is their words, not mine. Women are inherently evil. So your eyes are so big and bold because of the sex, that you want to get out of it, so when you do your little evil women tricks,
you'll be ready for it. I have no clue what this is. Are you high?
Yeah, because he said women are. What did he say? What was his term?
Well, he says they're going to manipulate you, right? Because they have good box,
Right.
basically. And so you don't know how to do it. You ain't had enough sex, so you need to have a lot of sex. So when you have sex with whoever you're trying to get, she won't, or when you get married or whether she won't use you and manipulate you with
Through
her
the
sex.
Yeah.
Okay. I dated somebody who was inexperienced because they lied to me and said that they were. I don't do any evil woman tricks. If you don't have any experience, I normally wouldn't date you. And the last person I did date had no experience, but lied to me and said that they did. And it was the worst fucking experience. I would never recommend doing that. I would never recommend doing that again.
Teach them what you like.
Yeah, like they lied to me though. I wouldn't have dated. I wouldn't have dated a dude.
What you like.
Huh?
No man wants to come and say, "Hey, I'm a virgin."
But he got what he wanted in the end because he lied and he got what he wanted. So
which
like,
makes him
he won.
Or it makes him a rapist. So do you win in the end if you're a rapist?
That's not rape. How's that a rapist?
No, it is. It's not. You cannot consent to something. Okay, let's say this, right? You can't consent to something that was not told to you truthfully. I did not consent to date somebody who did not have
having sex, right?
I did not consent to that person. I consented to a lie, and if this was a court of law, that person would be that I could not.
No. Baby, I worked for 8 years, baby. No, ma'am. Did you consent to have sex? If he told you he had if he was a millionaire, and you had sex with him, that's not a lie.
I know what she's talking about. There's a thing called rape by deception. I think that's
not because of, I say I'm good.
It's rape by deception. What is it? What is his name? That really famous, the guy who's becoming the famous philosopher, Peterson, Dr. Peterson, whatever his name is.
Jordan Peterson, yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson is the one who actually said, like, if you lie to a woman under false pretenses to get laid, what's the difference between you and a rapist? Since they're both unconsensual. But it's rape by deception. So it's like
rape.
It's
to me,
not like, do you win if you're a terrible person and you have to lie about who you are to get women to sleep with you? That kind of makes you a loser. That makes you lose no matter what.
Oh no, that guy. I know the guy you're talking about. He is a loser, but I digress.
That makes you a loser. Like if you have to lie, it makes you a loser.
But he was a loser beyond that issue. But we won't get into that.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that because he's a loser.
But I don't know. Like, does being an experience in the bedroom make you be able to handle women better outside of the bedroom? Is there any translation?
Yes.
What's the question, Kinte?
Oh, you're muted. Or wait, you're not muted. We can't hear you.
What's the question, Kinte?
Is having a lot of experience in the bedroom make you deal better with women outside of the bedroom because you've had a lot of sex?
No, dealing with lots of women outside of the bedroom makes you better in the bedroom.
Okay, so you said so.
I think it's about knowing a woman. It's whether you know women or not. If you don't know, then you don't know. Because like when I was a virgin, I knew women well. Like I really knew them. So that it didn't take me a long time to figure out how to please a woman well because I was already studying them before I had sex, if you follow. You know what I'm saying? So when I had sex, I kind of already knew what to do to a degree. You know what I'm saying? At least I knew I didn't want to hear it be done. You know what I'm saying? So that was the first thing that makes sense. And from there you grow, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's like, I'm not saying I'm no woman master or anything like that, but I'm just saying you got to pay attention. If you pay attention and communicate, you make magic. I don't know.
Okay, Free. Yeah, we can't hear you, Free. I don't know what's going on with your sound. I mean, I don't know if there's I hate sometimes these conversations they make it seem like, okay, if you do this, then this will be the outcome, as if, I mean, it's not like you're baking a cake, you know.
They're children.
Right.
These guys are young men. They're the most inexperienced with women. Like, sex is sex. Relationships is relationships. The guy that got the juice is the guy that knows how to finesse a relationship. Because like the other brother that came before him that was talking all that mess about, not coming on too strong and stuff like that, those guys are the guys that are getting laid out there. But the laid is just, that's the economy. It's like, I come in, I get the sex, and you leave. Like I was producing a show called Sex, Peasants, and Relationships with my friend Twyla. And she's like, yeah, when guys come in here, they're not even allowed to, I'm not cooking them nothing. I told them that, the A&W is a block down the street. When you're hooking up and you're doing casual sex is the only thing that you lose is your dignity, because after a while you get lonely. You want to be able to get in a relationship where you can hug someone and cuddle. In those sort of transactional relationships, there's none of that.
I got to call Twyla out though. She could at least have some lemonade or some iced tea after.
But
A&W, really?
Yeah, she's like, but all I'm saying is that casual sex is a thing. It's its own world. And getting guys to have more sex, you don't want to do that first and foremost, because if women get attached to you, that's like only wise men know not to be fucking around, because that stuff comes back to haunt you. Because first and foremost, women talk. The word gets around quickly. You know what I mean? And at the same time, if you're lying, you're gonna get caught up eventually. So it's just, be honest. When I was younger, I would just be like, yeah, I just want to be in an open relationship, or I'm not looking for anything serious, and that is that. And then you walk away from it, and that's the agreement. But guys will never learn. And the other thing too about sex is that every woman is different. Every woman wants something different out of sex. Some women want you to have, like, to penetrate them. Some women want oral. Some women want you to kiss this and kiss that, or they want to, it's not a one. You don't just get more experience with the more women that you date. You have to know her body. Her body's different every single time.
That's what I said.
So that he's a young kid. He's talking like a 14-year-old.
He wants to have a lot of sex, so he tries to justify it.
Yeah.
That's all. He ain't good. He don't sound like he's good at it anyway.
I'm not in it. I went celibate a long time. I went celibate. I don't worry about it no more.
I went celibate for 13 years. It was the first 13 years of my life, but it counts. All right, so this is the last video, and Madeline, you get this one, okay? This one is for the ladies, so here we go.
Expectations that you should lose as a man dealing with a working woman.
The
first expectation is that she's going to cook for you every day. If she's working and she's working just as hard as you are, she's going to be very tired when she comes from work. So it's probably best that you guys switch and you guys help each other cook, or you might want to do a dinner date throughout the week. 2, for you to expect that she does not have any men that are pursuing her while she's with you and she's a working woman, the reality of it is women who work have men that she has to work with on a daily basis. And she's going to get approached by very well educated men with money and very fine looking men who want to take your spot. But if you are securing yourself, you realize that your working woman is with you for a reason, and you should not feel jealous or insecure. 3, you expect to have a clean home every time you come home. Well, if you're with a working woman, she's just as tired as you are. And so it's best to learn different coping mechanisms as clean as you go. Otherwise, if your house gets a mess, you better expect that it's going to be looking a mess a couple of days out of the week, or you guys need to share duties as to who cleans what and when they clean them. 4, To expect a woman to look glamorous all the time, 100% of the time, and she's a working woman, she's not going to have a lot of time to do self-care. She's still learning how to balance it. And so you need to be flexible with the fact that she might not have her nails done or hair done 24/7. 6. The sixth one is, if you expect her to be sexually active 100% of the time when she has a cycle each month, well, that already takes 7 days out of the month. And then if you consider the 7 days before her cycle where she's going through emotional ups and downs before her cycle, and then the 7 days after the cycle in which her body is trying to normalize and get a great pH balance so she doesn't smell crazy or feel crazy, you need to consider those things when dealing with a working woman and just a regular woman. Those things matter. 7, you wanting her to stroke your ego by feeling needy and wanting you to help with everything. As a working woman, a lot of working women will just try to get things done because they know that you work too. And so they're not trying to stroke your ego. Is not that they don't want to stroke your ego. They're just used to working just like you do. And so they have the get it done mentality. So if you're looking for her to stroke your ego by saying, honey, I need this, I need that, can you do this, can I do that? The working woman is not going to do that. And you need to drop that unrealistic expectation.
I don't hear you.
What's going on?
So I think it was on Madeline. Kinte, your thing is going off again. The sound.
Yeah, he put it on Madeline. Go ahead, Madeline. He wants you to go first.
Go ahead, Madeline. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see any video.
Okay. Did you see it? Did anybody see the video?
I saw the video.
We all saw the video.
All right. Go ahead, Ryan.
I agree. And that's where I'm in alignment with everything that she says. I think that that is the reality nowadays. There's a lot of, in where I live, there's a lot of women that work in oil and gas that got their own money. I think that the game has changed. You got to come. It has to be reciprocal. Sometimes you got to cook. Sometimes you got to clean. Sometimes you got to do, but I think that, any self-respecting man would understand that he's not looking for, that he wouldn't get in a relationship for his, to be in a relationship with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you want to be in a relationship with somebody that's going to be reciprocal and take, because like it's like if you're working and the other person's working, why does the other person always got to cook? Why does the person always got to do the laundry? Why does it, you don't have to have those roles anymore. Two people have the capability of being able to do the house chores and and she said a lot of things too, but I agree with her. I think that's kind of where my head is at now. And I've had to educate myself too about it just to have better relationships.
No, Ryan, I got to call you out, Ryan.
Okay.
Anyone that knows me knows that is bullshit, Ryan. No, the laundry is her job. The cooking is her job. She better stroke my ego. I'm trying to remember what else she said. She better stroke my ego. She better look, I want my grits a certain way with butter and some salt. And it better be proper or we're going to have some issues. Okay, Ryan? So I believe in gender roles. She is not going to be mowing the lawn. I'm not either because I got Jose for that. But that's not the point. Okay? She's not going downstairs to handle a burglar because I got that. Well, I'm probably calling the police, but that's not the point, Ryan. I am going to do all the dude stuff, right? I'm going to watch the ball game, right? Gender roles. I'm watching the ball game. I need hors d'oeuvres while I'm watching the game. Why am I getting married? I need a woman to make the hors d'oeuvres, right? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that, Ryan?
I don't know. I'm just biased. I was raised by my grandmother and my mom, and they taught me how to cook and clean. Caribbean. They don't want me to be nasty and stink up the house. So I just learned how to I learned how to take care of myself, take care of my family. I think we just need to upgrade the gender roles. We don't always got to be, being. We just have to upgrade. You don't have to always be in those scenarios because the working environments nowadays are different than how it was back in the days. There's no such thing like the stay-at-home mom trope is over. It's different.
No,
now.
it isn't.
And this is where I feel like I have to agree. Gender roles do exist. They're a lot more fluid or presenting to be fluid now. But even in my younger days, those gender roles still existed because I grew up knowing certain men who did cooking. But that's what they were nice. They were nice at cooking. You know what I mean? I saw the different. I mean, it works for who it works for. Ultimately, in summation, it works for who it works for. So some of the things that I heard her say as far as the unrealistic expectation, maybe it's an unrealistic expectation for her specifically, but some of that, what I also heard is the lack of the intent or the ability to compromise. Because what it is, you're saying that you're too busy to stroke my ego, but you still want to know that I'm attracted to you. You want to know that I'm physically aroused when you come in. You want to know all of these things as a person that is also working. So why is it unrealistic for me to expect that thing, as you said, the reciprocity? And I feel like that we try to make things so black and white, looking under this socio whatever trope that has been like, why is it? I don't understand why we listening to so many people on the socials and relationship advice. Number one, because I don't know you in real life. You can get on here and say whatever. Prime example, your boy Derek Jackson and said all of these things only to resemble the very thing he was speaking against, the very behavior that he was speaking against. And it's sort of like, why am I listening? I don't know you from a can of paint. And what works for you works for you. What's not promoted enough, in my opinion, as I'm on the social platform speaking, what it is, my thoughts. So it's like the individuality. It's again not cookie cutter. We're not being manufactured on an assembly line. Right. The whole ideal of goals and relationship goals, we're looking at a frozen moment in time and saying that I would like my relationship to resemble this image that has so much time has passed, the time the image was taken and the time that I'm viewing. So why am I trying to be like somebody when I can't? If I'm looking at what I consider to be gold in somebody else's relationship, I can't recognize my own. What is it that I have? How can I, identify the value in the interaction that I have with who I have my interaction with? So if she needs to, if we're both working, we got to eat. Unless we decide we just buy Uber and DoorDash and whatever else all the time. Somebody's going to have to cook. Somebody's going to have to sacrifice whatever time it is in order to make sure that nourishment is done, to make sure that, things, laundry is taken care of, whatever the case is. Some of the things, Ryan, that you were saying, to me, is just so, do you know how to feed yourself? Do you know how to clothe yourself? Do you know how to wash your ass? Can you wash your clothes? This is adulting before we
right. Well, Sherry, I want you to answer this. Yeah. There was something that she said. Look, I know I'm gonna get tomatoes thrown at me probably by all the women for what I'm about to say, but she said on there about her cycle, right?
That's the stupidest
7 days
statement ever.
She's talking about
stupidest statement ever. Stupid.
Okay, all right. So I'm not
stupid.
7 days.
Yeah,
7
she
days.
likes the 7 days of the cycle,
Stupid
the 7 days
days.
before the cycle, the 7 days after the cycle. God dang, you always cycling.
You got 1 day. You better get it in, right?
You got 1 week.
Red lights.
I was like, I never heard of this. This is new to me.
So you get 21 days out of the damn month to be cycling?
This is new to me. She was saying some stuff where I felt like She titled this video 7 expectations, and she really only had 5.
Unrealistic expectations.
Unrealistic, but she only had 5. So she was trying really hard to come up with a couple more. That's how because I'm like, what? That leaves 1 week to have sex in the month. What's she talking about?
Right. You know what's funny too is I worked in an office building.
Teacher.
Where I worked in an office building one time, and well, more than one time, but and we were working in a oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know this was gonna hit. This gonna hit me, Kinte. You know how I feel about marriage, right?
Go ahead.
So I know I'm not gonna be the popular person on here at all.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I feel like every expectation she said on there are realistic expectations. It's about priority. My husband's my priority. Okay. So I am married and have had 5 children. I had triplets, 3 at one time. But you know what I did? I cooked every day and I worked outside the house. There's a crock pot. There's things about prepping and put your clothes out before, put the kids' clothes out before. It's about what home environment you want to set for your house.
Amen.
Okay, I put some clothes in the washer. We put them in the dryer later. It doesn't mean that he won't help me, but those are things that I said that I'm doing for my house to make his life easier. If we talk about Proverbs 31, that is what she did. She got up before everybody else did to start doing cooking and going and doing stuff in the field. So we have this culture now that we are the prize. No, ma'am. I'd have sex with my husband every day if he wants it. 3 or 4 times a day. I've never told my husband no. Now, my cycle, of course, he don't want my cycle, during my cycle, but all that day before and after and while you're behind your balance off, you funky, that's your problem. That's to every woman in here. Why you need 21 days to get your pH right? Something ain't right with your behind.
21 days a month.
That's stupid. Look, I jotted them down. Cook, I cook. Clean, I cook. Yes, men come after you. What does that mean? You say to think that she don't have men come. I don't think that men don't think that men come after your woman. You usually want a woman that somebody else, one is attracted to. That's a thing. Somebody else want her, but that's mine. Look glamorous. Yes, you might not be the same way you look when you go out the door. But like even before I had locks, I'm not wrapping my hair up or putting on no moo or none of that mess.
I thought she was crazy. And I'm sitting there like, I don't want you. I don't want no chick like that.
That made me finish my list. I done jot these things down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sexual attraction, looking glamorous. She said you can still look presentable. What my husband told me early on, he said you go out the door looking real good. By the time I come home, you got everything tied up, wrapped up, thrown to the corner. You look a mess. So we don't do that anymore. If it's nothing simple, then just making sure you got on the shirt with nothing, just some kind of a sex appeal. So that he comes home and sees something and stroke your ego. I will be the first, your biggest cheerleader, your first cheerleader, and your last cheerleader. So I don't know what that stupid mess she's talking about, but she gonna be miserable for the rest of her life. Hashtag all those are realistic, and all of those get done over here at my house. Talk to the person been married 20 years, 5 children, triplets being 3. Have a good night.
Yeah, and I'm assuming she probably is not married, or her husband's very sad. One of those 2 statements are true.
It's so funny because I'm in the middle, right? I listen to Kinte, Ryan and Kinte, and I'm like, well, Ryan's right and she's right, and Kinte, well, that's what I want, of course, but what's popular and all this other stuff, what I'm saying about the gender roles, we got to share everything like that. But I'm an old school person, so I know what I want.
I'm old school too.
Yeah, I'm real old school, but as far as with the political correctness and the community activism,
no
and everything
political,
like that.
I'm
talking about myself. I'm talking about myself, right? So that's why I kind of have to be able to appreciate all the different viewpoints. But she was, I understood what she was saying. So basically, okay, you're both working, because that's the one thing that kept hitting my ear was we're both working. I was like, I don't see how it makes a big difference if you're both working. You know what I'm saying? You're both still starting at the same place. So you trying to say your man don't have to cook, and the man don't have to look good, the man don't have to stroke your ego either. You know what I'm saying? So what are you together for? You know what I'm saying? We're like sharing apartments. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm going, because when you come home, I don't care if I work. I like to cook. I like to clean. I like to do all kind of things. I'm not gonna want to do it every day. And
yeah, she's saying don't expect shit from me when we get married.
Basically, like I don't have to do nothing because I'm working too. You know, I'm like, well, when did that start? You know what I'm saying? Because even when the women stayed home all day, it wasn't like she wasn't doing anything. You know what I'm saying? These women now, they want to stay home and the house looked the same when you left. I'm like, what you doing here? You know, like you can go somewhere else and do that because I you know what I'm saying? You got to.
I feel like we all have our part to play in relationships, right? And you know, it doesn't matter if you work. Like if you're a guy and you work, you still got to be you still got to do what you got to do at the crib.
You still got to get the flowers. You still got to want to go out to, you know, present stuff.
Right. It can't turn it off.
Show up and all that type of stuff. And I feel like a period don't stop nothing but a sentence.
I like that. He said the period don't stop nothing but a sentence.
Yeah, I never ran around.
Hey man, but according to her though, you the 7 days before the period and the 7 days after and the 7 days during. Shut up.
But then I was told that it, you know, for some it is cramp relief. It, you know, releases certain endorphins to stop headaches. Makes the cycle easier. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these, like when I was married before, those were the, you know, the list of things that was helpful to her. And I guess to both of us, but I'm like, okay, I didn't even know that
you got to communicate. You got to do it a certain way. It's not like you pounding. You know what I'm saying? It's all this.
You know who the least sympathetic about a woman's period is? Another woman. Like I was working at the office, right? And we were all working on this project, right? It was men and women, and one of the people that, you know, we all had to carry our weight on this project. And one of the women, she came to work and she was complaining about her period was really bad or whatever. But she's gonna, you know, try to hang in there. But she kept leaving off the, you know, she wasn't carrying her weight. So the guys were like, well, we'll get you. You know, you're not feeling well. Man, the women in the project, they was like, man, fuck her, I get a period too. Like they were like, hell no, you're gonna do your work. You should have stayed your ass at home, you know. So women are more cold-blooded than us guys. We're like, oh, okay, well, she ain't feeling well. Okay. Ooh. You know, the women were like, nah, I work when I don't stop me from working. I got to still do what I got to do. So, but yeah, no, I thought that was pretty interesting though. But you know, hey, that's what it is.
I was going to say that it's anecdotal. Everybody has their own experience. But what I notice is that culturally, like in Canada, we don't have, like, when I listen to Canadian brothers and sisters, we don't have those conversations about those gender roles because a lot of Canada is, you know, especially in Toronto and stuff like that, they're very, like, liberal, right? A lot of things have changed, like, as far as, you know, there are just different rules in terms of feminism and whatnot, and that's incorporated into our culture. So, you know, it's not unheard of for, you know, to hear someone like her speaking. Like, it's normal for us. Like, it's something that you shouldn't expect.
Shit.
You know, but when you go to smaller towns or older cities where people have their culture and have their ways, it's different. When I went to Guyana is more like, you know, how you guys are talking about, right? It's traditional and marriage and, you know, gender roles, but here it's different and it's normal. But, you know, we don't lose sleep over the fact that she's not cooking dinner. We order skip the dishes or DoorDash or, you know, or I'll cook or she cooks. Like,
I used to own a catering business, so I'm great in the kitchen, right? So I know how to cook. But I would never, ever settle down with a woman that would not cook. I'm not saying she has to cook every day, blah, 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 3 meals a day or whatever. Maybe 2.5 meals a day. No, I'm just playing. But no, I'm saying though, like, no, to me, that is absolutely no.
She got to contribute.
No, she got to do that. It's part of it. It's part of it. It's part of it. It's part of it. I
People
remember
have to contribute together.
I don't want to throw Shannon under the bus, who used to be my co-host. And shout out to Shannon wherever she's at. I'm trying to get in contact with you. But Shannon used to say, one of the things that she didn't like was, oh, when I got with a guy, one thing I won't do is clean the toilet bowl. And I'm like, you do it now? You do it now. So, all right, Sherry. But I'm like, you know what I would say to her is that you're going to be cleaning it just like you did before you had me. So what, you inherit a toilet bowl cleaner? I don't like it either. Who likes cleaning the toilet? But anyway, I digress. I want to thank everybody so much for coming on the show. This was awesome. I want to say this. I'm going to say this before we all say goodbye. Next week, we have a special episode. We're doing our poetry night, our second poetry night. And if anybody wants to read, come on and read poetry. And please let me know. I know Ryan is coming on. I don't know if Will, if you do poetry. I know Anthony does. So if you can hop on, share us some of your great poetry. He's in our writers group, Anthony, and that dude, man, he's really talented cat. Come on. You know, it doesn't have to be your thing, but we always prefer it to be yours. But if you want to just read something that you like, that's next week. So we're asking the people just to come on. We'll kind of introduce you a little bit. You read your poem, and then we'll talk about it. And we'll do the old. I don't know if y'all remember the slam poetry back in the day, the finger snaps and all of that stuff
on the black hands.
Yeah, I used to be. I was telling this to Ryan before the show. I was like all over that scene back in the day. I was always there. I was sitting there watching, but what I got disenchanted with it, because I felt like a lot of the poets weren't really saying nothing. So I used to joke about I could go up there and just make up some shit, and I bet you I get a standing ovation. And my friends were like, I don't. You just talking trash, right? So I said. So what I did was I went up there. I'm not a poet, right? And I had an empty notebook, and I acted like I'm going through looking for my poem, and then I just literally made up a poem called "Living in a Fish Tank." I don't remember what it was because it was right off the top of the head. And my friends were in the back dying laughing because they know I was full of boo boo. And they actually was almost going to get in trouble because they were like, you don't laugh when someone's doing the thing. And they're laughing because they know it's like a bit for me, you know? Right. And so I did this made up poem that got during it. And afterwards I got a standing ovation, and I went to the back and they were like, you're a fool, you know? But I enjoyed that scene though during that time, and I love poetry. Maybe I'll read something from somebody, or who knows, maybe I'll make up something in a week. But that's next week. We will be doing our poetry, our second poetry jam. So, but let's start off with Will. How can we get you in social media and stuff? And when we gonna get some music out of you, bro? I'm gonna ask all of you great musicians and stuff. So.
Yeah, I got my guitar out in the corner. You can't see it, but anyway, I'm working on it. You can find me on Twitter at Will Builder, just the letter C, WILL Builder, and everything else I'm Will Inspire. So Will CWIL Inspire. So I'm on Instagram most of the time. I'm just getting on TikTok. I'm trying to follow our brand Savant there and rock out to the TikTok, but that's where I'm at. And the music's gonna come. I'm like Erykah Badu. I'm very sensitive about so I keep it to myself. But I'll share it when I kind of get some more space to breathe. As far as with all the business stuff I got going on. But that's where you can find me.
We got 3 in here. So maybe y'all can do a what was that thing with what was that group with Keith Sweat and Gerald Levert? What was it, LSD or LT? What was that? What was it?
LSG.
LSG, right? Y'all could do a FCB or something, or FCR or something like that.
I thought they were called emotional bitches. Have you seen them arguing?
That's cold.
They were arguing.
You ain't
all
right.
the time. These brothers, man.
You ain't right. What about you, Free? How can we get you in social media? And do you have any music or anything that we can check out? It's been a while since we talked.
Social media is Free Real, FREEPHAREAL. I do actually. That's Instagram. That's Twitter. I'm not on Twitter very much, and that's mainly those two places where I am. I have a TikTok, but I haven't put anything on it. I don't know how much I am or am not going to use it. But so I'm on those platforms. I do have music coming. I'm actually releasing my first official single. I put out music before, but my first official single this summer, probably in July. I was just recording about a month ago. I went up to Detroit, met up with some folks, and so I got some music that I'm working on. As far as that's concerned, and I'm going back to the filmmaking side of things. So I'm building up my gear and equipment and things like that. So I'll be filming a lot here in the coming months, the end of the summer, probably throughout the fall and the remainder of the year. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
And a big shout out to your brother Dedrick. It's been a minute, but I know he's had some life changes, good life changes. With his child, right? And
he celebrated a 1-year anniversary for his wedding. He's been married a full year now. I was the best man at his wedding. So that's dope.
Congrats.
And yeah, they get into it, man. They a year in.
That's what's up, man. I love it, man. I love it. And Ryan, how can we get you on social media? And do we got any music coming from you?
Yeah, actually, I have a album that I quietly released, and I got millions of views on Facebook, and I'm still waiting to get, I had one song that I released on Reels that had over 1 million likes, but I haven't gotten paid from Facebook, nor have I gotten paid from TikTok, and I got over 1 million views on one of my videos that had my song in it. So it should be like a $2,000 check apparently. But yeah, you can check the album. It's on Spotify called Chance. And the name is Sabian. But
I love it.
Yeah, Sabian. And you can reach me at Sabian Academy on TikTok, Hustle Zone on Facebook. Sorry, Hustle Zone on Instagram, and Calibrated Dyslexia on TikTok.
All right, man. I'm so proud of you, man. All of you guys. You guys are doing great. And Angie, thank you for coming in tonight. How can we get you in social media? And do you and your husband still do your show?
Yes, we actually changed our day to Saturday.
Oh, okay.
But we have Black Love United marriage group, but we talk about relationships. We have single people in there. Kinte, no, we have crazy conversations like this as well. But we are traditionalists when it comes to marriage. I'm not in a dictatorship, but I do believe in, the traditional course of marriage. And we just have those conversations, and we enjoy what we do. We have 27,000 on Facebook. I'm trying to get my life together on TikTok and YouTube. We have it, but I'm not busy on there, so I got to get it together. But follow us at Black Love United on every social platform. That's TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, everything. We're there.
And kudos to you and your husband. You guys are amazing people. And last year we had you guys on the show. Which was funny in this is you guys are a great Christian couple. And the week before we had like some swingers on, a swinging couple. So it was like a big difference, week to week. And I definitely wanted to have them on first and then have you guys on first just to show and shout out to them. They're doing great things. But it was interesting, the difference, in shows. But thank you, and give our love to your husband, and I'm gonna make sure I check out your program. And you can get me at Kinte F on Twitter, Kinte Ferguson on Instagram, and of course the website is theindyradio.com. That's the INDY radio.com. We have a show called Pilot Season where we look at TV show pilots. And we were on Tuesdays. Now we're going to be on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. And the show we're doing is The Sopranos. So we've done so far, we've done Gilligan's Island, we've done The Golden Girls, we've done Homicide: Life on the Street, we've done Lost, Twin Peaks, and I know the next one after that is Sanford and Son, the pilot for that. So I'm very excited about that show. So we're going to try to do different TV show dramas and stuff and kind of review them. That's Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. With that said, you guys have a great rest of your week. God bless you. Peace.
Don't lower your standards.